So I hope you've all had a great day, because I have, and today we get to talk about Sweet Baby Inc. since fanboys aren't really doing anything special or worth talking about. And since all the normies are talking about Sweet Baby Inc., I might as well come in and benefit from it. You know, unlike the rest of us that were actually talking about it before it was the cool thing to do, and people called us crazy or stupid for believing this nonsense. And all I have to say is who's laughing now? Who looks more stupid, me or you? The guy that was saying that there is something up and something going on, an agenda to be pushed? Or the guy saying no there isn't because now there absolutely is. We have proof of it, we've seen it in how these individuals act, and it's pretty obvious from the get-go that people that were saying this had a genuine point. We just didn't have the proof to actually sit down and see it for ourselves until the Sweet Baby CEO and people like her are going out there and wishing death for certain communities, or wanting certain communities to be pushed out of a job, or even refusing to hire certain people on their skin color. And if you can't guess which group I'm on about, it's obviously white people. For some reason they have it out to get us because, I don't know, white guilt and white people bad.
I have a team of 21 right now for Validate. It's a pretty big team. It's a crazy big team for indie games. But who is your team? Validate has a team of mostly all people of color. We have no white people on our team. I did that because I wanted to create a safe environment. And I know the best way for an environment to be safe is to be around people who are just like me. And I'm not saying that white people in the industry are creating unsafe environments. I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying. I am saying that sometimes it is hard to work with white people because they think that something made it okay, but it was really a microaggression. And no one wants to deal with that while they're trying to make a game that they love.
Behold, a Western developer in all its finery and glory. I hope you know this is the reason why we won't purchase any more of your games. I will not purchase any game that is made from a Western developer unless it truly interests me. Because when people like you are developing these games, you make me lose all interest. This is why most Japanese and Eastern games are more interesting and appealing. They're just not trying to add politics first and foremost. They're just trying to make a fun game. And I'm not gonna sit there and be a moral arbiter that I need people to not be fucking doing this and that in their game development. I couldn't care what you do. Your goal is to deliver a product. I couldn't care what you choose to do and what goes on. That's you and for the rest of the company to figure out and fix. But the moment that you turn around and actively brag about only having people of color in your group and refuse to hire people, to my knowledge in most Western countries that's illegal. You can't do that, especially when they're qualified for the job. Imagine if the roles were reversed in this situation where it was a group of only white people refusing to hire anyone of color, regardless if they were qualified or not. There would be a lot of outrage. Like, just imagine how many people would be pissed off on Twitter if a group of white people were refusing to hire anyone that was black. Just imagine that. But when people see this, no one cared about it until people started looking into it. It is literally rules for thee, but not for me. I don't get how people can allow this to happen inside of an industry and how people can tout this as a good thing. That this is a thing that companies should strive to do. To exclude a group of people from employment. I don't get how that works. Oh, but being around white people must mean somehow they say something that you dislike or disagree with. Oh, that must have been a microaggression. Oh, I don't know. What did you eat? A whole block of cheese. Yeah, that must have been a microaggression. Clearly. Like, what is this microaggression? What are they gonna do? Hurt your feelings over a fucking word? Grow up, you fucking sook. So I think we might as well just get to the point on why the video was titled the way that it is. The time that I believe Sweet Baby actually lost. Of course, there is no proof, I'm just doing this for food for thought, as to me it makes a lot of sense, and maybe if I describe it to you, it can also make a lot of sense. So don't expect to learn anything new. I'm sure you can find other videos discussing stuff that is actually relevant, but I believe I may have found something interesting, and that is it. So let's go take a look at the first bit of information that I think is important to this little argument that I want to make.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
That's right, guys. When you can't get your way, threaten to cancel people on the internet, or threaten to get them in trouble with your marketing team. Oh, I don't know about you, but that seems like a reasonable train of thought when you can't get your way. So how is this relevant to the argument that I want to make? Well, you now have seen that she is willing to throw other people under the bus to get her way. And now this is where it all starts to come together, as I believe her working on one of these games that I'm about to mention, because this isn't a game that I have no experience with. I know this game is nearly over 20 years old as a concept, and I've been with it for technically 9 years now. I'm sure you can all guess, it's For Honor, because apparently the co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., the woman that's willing to throw other people under the bus, has worked on this game as a scriptwriter at some point. No matter how hard I try, I will never escape For Honor's infinite gaze. It's just never going to disappear from me. I'm gonna be with it forever. So why is this game so important to the argument? It's because of the director. The director was someone, let's just say, not willing to change his opinions and change the way that he wants to look at certain characters in his game. He made it in a certain way because that's how he wanted it to be. So what happens when you introduce a writer that is wanting to introduce her own way into this and is willing to go to pretty scummy ways of threatening people to get her way, and you have a stubborn director? Now can you see where this is all coming together? And by the way, we have one more thing to just add a little bit more fuel to the flame, because this director is also a white guy. So what happens when you introduce everything a Sweet Baby employee hates, a white guy not willing to change to fit her narrative, and a stubborn director? I'm sure there was a couple issues here and there from them, but of course we don't know when these two individuals worked. And all I want to say about this individual director, God, we miss you, we need you back. By the way, you dropped this, King. What I would give to have you back on the game, please, we need you back. They've destroyed the game, the balancing is all out of whack and no one even knows what they're doing anymore. Everyone's dumb, the entire community's stupid and all the good players have left. But now, I'm sure some of you are asking, how do we know that this director was someone that was not someone that often had a lot of his employees to agree with him on decisions and was pretty stubborn? Well, that's because there was a documentary on For Honor, known as Playing Hard. And in some instances in that documentary, he really displayed that. And I will leave that documentary in the description so you can go see for yourself if you're interested to see any of the proof of that. Now that I've given you all the information, I want you to think, how has there not been any issues related to these two individuals? As he was someone that made the main villain, he worked really close with the writing team to make the world fleshed out. It's something that is acknowledged in the documentary. So I want to know how there was no issues, because even around this time, 2017, 2018, and 2019, around the same time that she founded Sweet Baby Inc. or co-founded it, she was still spouting messages pretty similar to this, so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that she may have tried to add this into the game. But when looking at For Honor from its lore standpoint, it's mainly stayed very neutral. It's mainly stuck true to what the game was first and foremost. And we should also keep in mind that this game was in development for roughly 7 years. I know, I've been keeping track. I know a lot about this game more than any other creator on the fucking planet. I know, I waste my life talking about a very dogshit game that I hate with a passion, but I will never stop playing. And through those 7 years, For Honor probably experienced a lot of changes, and having a woman like her also on top of all those changes coming in trying to get her own way when it comes to the writing, I think is very interesting, as it poses the question, how did she not change anything? How did the game maintain to be so neutral? And this is why I believe the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. maybe ended up losing. Even though Sweet Baby may not have existed at the time, it's still very interesting. And I think it could pose a question for the future. Have there been any other instances like this where they were not able to get their way? And whether or not Sweet Baby existed or not, or other consulting firms similar to Sweet Baby's role. As I think it's just very interesting that there are people out there that try to force their way into these video games like any other form of entertainment, and it's good to know that they may have in fact lost, and For Honor actually benefited for them losing, regardless of how shit the quality is now. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to throw this out there as I thought it was something interesting that I could think over for a bit and just share it with the rest of you. None of it may be true, but it's just interesting food for thought. And I think, looking at this stuff going to the future, maybe we can find stuff. And that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. I was just thinking it was like, you know, maybe I could put this into a video and poise something interesting for everyone to look at. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go wait for my Dragon's Dogma 2 and enjoy the rest of my day. And I don't know, maybe even discuss with you guys to see what you guys think of what I've shown today. Do you guys agree, disagree, whatever? I think it's a genuinely interesting talk, as this benefits more than just me and you when it comes to this stuff. We could maybe learn something new, so that's pretty much it. So I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Hope you all have a great day.